Hey, I just read 2 chapters out of this book for women only. It's very upsetting. I'm going to just go through a couple things as fast as I can. She claims it's all based on data, statistically valid evidence. She had 24 questions, 24 questions right there. 24 questions to 400 anonymous men across the country. That means they were all from the same country, basically same culture, backgrounds, mindset. She did then do another 400 anonymous men who were churchgoers with just a few more questions, some of the same ones. Hardly anything. I mean, this is 400. This is not even half of 1,000. I would not really consider that. Right here, again, this is the language in every man's battle over and over and over. They are just, they're just the way they're wired, okay? They're just the way men are wired. Yeah, over and over. Men are wired this way. So she asks some questions to a couple, 400 guys, and then claims, hey, this is just the way they're wired. And what she's talking about is not like good attributes that men have, but some pretty, now this book was used. I buy my trash books used, so I'm not supporting the authors. So the bright yellow highlights are mine. A lot of the guys fussed over question 3. They did not feel the choices were different. So she bases pretty much all of this on this one question: would you rather be alone and unloved, or inadequate and disrespected? A lot of people thought that kind of was the same thing. She's got 2 choices. She didn't say alone, unloved, inadequate, disrespected. She grouped this together and she grouped this together. Really 74% and 26%. I mean, that's almost a quarter choosing this one and 3/4 choosing that one. That is not much of a difference. I mean, 3 out of 4 guys, 1 out of 4. That's not like an outlier. An outlier would be maybe just 2 or 3, 4%. And so this is being based on this really faulty, what she calls a study. And here's what she comes up with, a disrespect barometer. Here's how we decide. Are our husbands being disrespected? How do we know if wives cross the line? Check for anger. Okay, so the husband's anger tells us if wives have been disrespected. All right, I'm going to pause this book for a minute. Here's a book, Being Okay Just Isn't Enough by Doris Wilde-Hemberg. This is an actual, like more scientific type of a book. She describes, this is a little synopsis of the 3 ingredients this whole chapter was about. It takes 3 ingredients to be angry. Anger is a result of 3 things, not 2 out of 3, not 1 out of 3, all 3. You put a negative interpretation on an event. You perceive a threat, or you judge that you have been challenged. And number 3, you have an adrenaline rush. So there's the outward anger that we see. This book, it goes through all 3 things here. Your negative thoughts you're thinking, you're feeling like you've lost control of the situation or you're being challenged. And then you have this adrenaline rushing through your bloodstream, and you act out in anger, whether that's silent anger or whether that is a rage of anger outwardly. Inward anger and outward anger is still the same scientifically. So here Shaunti is telling us in For Women Only, we know if we've been disrespectful if our husband has anger. Again, that is completely putting the blame on the wife. Right here, it's sad to see this, probably a wife who underlined all this in a difficult marriage. Respect is judgment. So These men wished that their mate would not question their knowledge. This is completely, she's just telling this little story about how deeply a man needs his wife to respect his knowledge. However, this story tells nothing about disrespect. She literally just had a question about something, and that really threw him off. And here's the things that Shaunti's telling us about men. What women need to know about men. How stupid it made him feel. And then the man's quoted, "I'm not stupid." Down here is, the problem is that we want to help them. Okay, so here is respect his abilities. If a man is trying to figure something out, like putting together a DVD player, this book's a little aged. He's putting together a DVD player. And if a wife wants to help, that's a problem. A wife wanting to help with a job around the house is a problem, because apparently that shows distrust. This is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, here she's going on and on. Quote, several men said, quote, "I'm not an idiot, okay? I'm not stupid." Okay, a wife saying, "Hey, can I help? Hey, can we do this together?" Or, "Hey, have you thought of this?" is not calling him an idiot, is not calling him stupid. And here again, a man might think of it like this, and she probably doesn't really respect me at all. So these are his thoughts. He might think, she probably doesn't respect me at all. Again, none of these situations are showing disrespect. They are literally communicating, asking questions, offering to help. Basic everyday situations. She suggests, next time your husband stubbornly. Okay, so she's calling a man stubborn. The wife isn't calling a man stubborn. She's saying the husband is being stubborn. Ask yourself, what's more important, being on time to the party, or his feeling trusted? Okay, so the whole thing here is, if he makes a wrong turn, should you tell him? And she's saying, don't suggest that he's making the wrong turn, or don't tell him which way to go, because now you're calling him stupid, he feels like an idiot, and you don't trust him. This is absolutely ridiculous. And again, over and over, they're admitting that the wives in these examples are not being disrespectful. Again, it is how we say it or how they feel about it. Here she's going to give several common examples of how a man might hear something negative where the woman never intended it. So she's literally saying it was never intended, but he might hear something negative. Okay, here's exactly what I'm trying to point out. These men she is speaking about, this is a problem they have. They need help. I feel so insulted. She's not rude about it or anything. Okay, so the wife's not being rude at all, but he is feeling insulted. I asked men what would go through their minds if their wife or significant other reminded them that the kitchen wall was damaged. It still had to be fixed. More than 1/3 of these men took that reminder as nagging or as an accusation of laziness or mistrust. Okay, I'm married. Here's a big problem. Hey, honey, that wall still needs to be fixed. Now, this is a kitchen wall needing fixed. Is this an electrical problem, a mold problem, a water damage problem? I have no idea. But obviously, it's something that needs to be tended to. She reminds him, and now this is an accusation of laziness or mistrust. Yeah, this is ridiculous. And then here's another quote. For me as a man, that is saying that I failed. No, it's not. No, it's not. If I say, hey, honey, we missed the trash last night, that's just communication. We missed the trash. That is not an accusation that you failed at all. So why is this whole book for women when really these men need some help? Here's some more attacks. This man Chuck. Okay, so she's talking to this man Chuck, and she's trying to get advice on how to write this book. Do you know how to put together? She wants a survey question. Do you know how to put together a romantic event? Chuck immediately says, you're starting off in attack mode. You're suggesting the man is inept. So soften it a bit. Okay, so the big, strong, masculine fellas, they just need their wives to just soften these attacks. Again, what was the attack? The attack was, hey, would you know how to throw together a date night? Am I missing something? Where is the attack? Could you throw together a date night? My husband has thrown together a couple date nights that blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. And it doesn't happen every week, and it doesn't have to happen every week. But there's been some times when he really knocked it out of the park. How is asking a guy, hey, could you do this? Could you throw together a date night? How in the world is that an attack? So he just wants her to soften it. And now, let's think about their feelings. Here again, some people can be overly sensitive and we can't walk on eggshells. This paragraph is just hilarious because she's contradicting the entire book so far. She describes overly sensitive men, wives who need to learn how to walk on eggshells. And then this is some kind of a caveat here. That said, most men appear highly sensitive, look at this, to disrespect. They have stated over and over and over that in these instances, the wives have shown no disrespect, but the men felt stupid. And now they're saying the men are highly sensitive to disrespect, including seeing disrespect where none is intended. So none is shown, none is intended, but yet the wife is insensitive to her man's feelings. Again, she's calling this an epidemic of public disrespect for men. Okay, so they refer to TV, TV shows and movies and all this kind of stuff as an epidemic of public disrespect for men. Okay, well, what about the epidemic of public objectification of women's bodies? Silence, right? Even though every example, I did not skip any examples where disrespect was shown. And then they say the male ego is the most fragile thing on the planet. Wow, so the guys who go fight our battles, win our wars, bring home the bacon, now they're saying they are the most fragile thing on the planet. Feelings of inadequacy as a man, humiliated as a man. Okay, I'm sorry, but I think a little higher of my man than this. I think a little higher of my sons, of my son-in-law, of my brothers. Something that is really, really important to him. Okay, because guys already feel inadequate. Now, page 42, she's having a conversation with her dad. She's having this conversation, and he is explaining to her how guys feel so inadequate, how they're always in competition. It can be humiliating to have a sign of weakness, and now he's nothing, right? So here's a man tearing down other men, but saying, hey, don't joke around with your husband. Don't tease your husband. What do we do with our friends? We laugh and we joke and we might kid a little bit. But don't do that with your husband, especially in front of another man, because he already feels inadequate. He's always in competition. He's humiliated. This is a sign of weakness if his wife throws a joke over his way, and now he's nothing. That's ridiculous. All right, and now she's telling us how we can praise, be respectful, even when he's absent. Okay, and I am not at all saying don't respect your husband. Of course, respect your spouse. Of course. Okay, did he take the kids out and let you sleep in Saturday morning? Tell your book club and make the other girls jealous. Okay, so he takes the kids to the park on a Saturday. Well, guess what? He's their dad. He's their dad. He can take them to the park. He can take them to the movies. He can take them to a game. I don't need to tell my book club. I don't need to make other people jealous because my kids have a father. Unbelievable. I don't even know how far I got. Okay. She likes to quote Eggerichs guy, which is the most insane. Just like he wrote Love and Respect, which literally teaches marital rape in a positive way. It's disgusting. And here he says, men are not stupid. Okay, watch, he's about to contradict himself. Men are not stupid. They're not Neanderthals. Sometimes these behaviors that appear to be unloving are not unloving at all. They are reacting that way because they interpret something as disrespect, even if sometimes they shouldn't. Okay, again, they should not view this as disrespect, but they do. And yet he's saying they're not stupid. Okay, disclaimer here. I'm not saying guys are stupid. I don't think they're stupid. But I think that authors like Shaunti Felton and this Eggerichs guy and Steve Afterburn and all those guys, they are treating men like they're stupid. They're writing books for wives. Debbie Pearl does it too, and Created to Be His Helpmeet. They teach wives that their husbands are stupid, but we need to treat them like they're not and like we're really, really proud of them, even though we know that they're going to act this way. What can we do? Women hold the power. Women hold the power. Well, that's patriarchy for you. All this men are in charge, men are this and that. Here's your patriarchy. Follow your head and your leader. But you hold the power to manipulate and control because they are just so darn sensitive. You can't tell them to turn left or right.